Hey everybody, and welcome to Robin's house. Today we're working on the Turtley Awesome Thin Cut Bundle, but mostly this super cool technique that I learned recently. And so I wanted to show you a couple different ways to create this technique and, get you to know the pluses and minuses of it. So the actual technique that this is has you making a square that is 1 7/8 by 1 7/8, and then placing it in a spot on your card. And for the momentarily, it's going to have to be white on white, so you just have to forgive me. So we just put it in a spot. And then we take these 1 7/8 by 3/8 inch strip and popping them up I gotta find a place now that we're gonna evenly space them so that there's a reason why this isn't the favored method of this. It looks really cool when you pop everything up off the paper and have everything all spaced apart so lovely. But then as you get to those edges, you can even see I've got a piece over the edge. Actually, I'm going to do this one so that I can even out the space. So even this one, it's off the page a little bit. So this method of putting these down it's going to look really, really cool to me until you reach one of those edges. And then your popped images are going to be sticking up off the thing. But how neat does that look? And I have some more, so we can do the other side. Or I could even do, like this side. The idea is that you do this way, and then this one goes this way. And pretty soon you have this entire card filled with all these beautifully popped chunks of. So you can see that this takes a while. It takes a little bit of planning and such in order to get it right. Like you can see on this one's a little closer than this one is, and stuff like that. So this is a little difficult to do. So when you're at Robin's house, what do? We cheat. So I have a great technique for doing this at Robin's house. So we got to start again with our 1 7/8 by 1 7/8, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue it down again, just somewhere. And then I'm going to have a 6-inch piece of paper cardstock and 6-inch by 3/8 of an inch. So 3/8 is also coincidentally the size of the shimmer trim. So that way you can just, if you were doing this shimmerly, you wouldn't have to measure that. So you just need the length. So what I do is since my white cardstock is 1 7/8 wide, I know it's the correct width. So I am just going to take my pieces of cardstock, and on this, you want to put glue on pretty much most of it because you're going to cut it all over the place. So put that one down on the opposite edge, and then it's just laying it out so you have the correct spacing for these last two strips. So I've got my strip down, and my last strip goes down. And then what do you suppose you do? I'm going to take one that I've already glued, this one here. I'm going to cut it at 1 7/8 inches. So I should be able to get 3 over here. So 1 7/8 is just that big mark, just shy of 2 inches. So 1 7/8, 1 7/8, and 1 7/8. And even though my other one is probably still wet, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it also, just so I can show you on the card how you would judge things and do that. So now I have 6 pieces. 6 pieces of really cute stripy paper that I can just go ahead and stick down. So I'll take my first one and I'm going to do this nice stripy here. And I can kind of see the width of my stripes. So I'm going to put that width kind of right there. And then I've got this one I'll put up here. Then I'm going to take this one, I'll put over here maybe. So you want all 4 of your ones around this square to be the same direction, because these ones are going to go the opposite direction. You want to make room for them to go the opposite direction. And so I've got these basic ones down, and then I've got to grab my scissors. And then we can kind of tell that there's very few places left. So we're going to hold off on the scissors for one more second. And then I'm going to start with this one because this is a pretty big chunk. That one down. And I have one more big chunk. You could go here with this big chunk, and I probably don't need to put so much glue on there. And just to give you the idea of it, of course. Okay, so there we go. So now we really only need those 6 pieces, because I'm going to flip this over and look at all this stuff I have to work with once I cut them off the card. I like to flip it over and use big scissors because I feel that that gives me the most control over what I'm cutting, and it also allows me to keep it pretty straight because of these big scissors placed against that thing. So now we've got this very nearly completed one, and then we just have to look and see what kind of things. So this one will go real nicely right there. Although I might want to put it here. Just doing that because if I put it here, then it's going to be exactly the same as that one. If I put it here, although it is the same colors, it's a different pattern. And let's see what else I have. I don't have any more, but I do have some of these ones I cut off. I could use that, and no one would ever even know. That's unfortunate. So I'm going to trim these off a little bit. So that is the bad thing, is sometimes they might not quite be the shapes that the side that you're wanting, but I feel like it's flexible enough. How cute is that? Isn't that the cutest card you ever saw? And the funnest idea, and so repeatable. Yeah, I'd like to have the glue down there. See, the tricky part is getting that glue on there, because you're just having like this one, this little tiny piece right here. Oh, it's so close, you can't even see. If I hadn't glued that well, it would fall off of the project. So we'll turn it over to this one more time. This is such a fun project, and I've got this one you make in Cards with Robin in May. So you get to try it out. Still got some over here. But what do you think about that? Super cute. Don't you love cheating? Because that's just way funner. So thank you so much for watching. Happy crafting.